Emily, and today I am going to be reviewing The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Guin for my genre exploration challenge. This is my book for May. Okay, so this is about a man named Guin. He comes from the planet Tran, and he's part of this intergalactic group called the Ecumen. And so he's coming to the planet of Winter to bring them into this like trade union. They're all these like humanoid alien planet kind of things, and they all get together and they want to build like trading relationships. And so they send Guin down to this planet, and he happens to land in the kingdom of Karhide, and he's kind of trying to get to know them and let them get to know him so that they might feel comfortable meeting with more people and building and trading relationships. There's this political guy, Estraven. At first, Guin doesn't trust Estraven. He's not getting anywhere with people in Karhide, so he kind of goes across the border to another kingdom. He goes to see the Orderess, and initially they're kind of receptive of him, but then he finds himself shipped off to this prison camp, and he's working and being questioned and drugged, and he's kind of not doing so well. And so then Estraven comes to save him, and the story goes on from there. And it was really good. I have to admit, I was incredibly confused because I was reading this chapter by chapter each night, and for some reason doing that, I did not pick up on the fact that the chapters were switching who was telling the story between Estraven and Guin. And so it got to a certain point where I was reading it like in one sitting, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Why does this not make sense? And so I googled it, and then I realized, oh, there are two different people telling the story. That makes it make a little more sense. And so once I realized that, a lot of things made sense, and I started to enjoy the book a lot more. I did really like this book. It's part of like the first feminist science fiction-y kind of stuff, and so it's about an androgynous race of people who are most of the time neither gender, and then they have like this like hormone cycle, and at some point they end up in Khmer, and they find other people also in Khmer, and then they kind of either grow or invert, and then they have genitals, and then they, you know, reproduce. And so people can have both sired and given birth to children, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so that was interesting. It's an interesting idea. I've never seen, like, I've read like Marge Piercy's Woman on the Edge of Time, where the pronouns are neutral, but the people are still gendered. But this is actually, the people are neutral. And it was a little weird having the people be neutral and having the alien still refer to people as he, because there's no really neutral pronoun in English to do that. I'm curious how this got translated. If it got translated, are there neutral pronouns in other languages that worked better? So The Left Hand of Darkness actually won the Hugo and Nebula Awards, which are kind of big in science fiction. And yeah, so highly awarded. Very interesting concepts and ideas. If I could give it half stars, I'd give this 3.5 stars because I liked it. It was good. It was interesting, but it was also really confusing, which I don't know if it's my fault or just the writing. Like, I'd have to go back and read it again to see if it is just really confusing and convoluted, or if I was just really tired when I read this, because I'm reading it at the end of the day. If you like science fiction, you've probably read this. If you don't and you're thinking about reading science fiction, this might be an interesting place to start. I took a science fiction course, and this was actually cut from the course because it was assumed that everyone would have read it. So this has been on my list for a while. So I'd like to thank my lovely volunteer for recommending this for me, because it's actually been on my radar for a while. I've been looking for this for a while, so having the push to actually read it was really good, and I'm glad I did. So I will see you guys in June with a review and discussion of Paul Auster's Oracle Knight, which was recommended by a lovely professor, so I'm kind of excited to read this. We'll see this in June. In the links below, I'll have all of my social media, because I have social media now. I got a Twitter. Yay, Twitter. So there'll be links to all of the places you can see more of me in the description. And also, discussion will be coming out on Wednesday for this, because I tried not to include any spoilers in this video, so if you have read this and you would like to discuss, check out the discussion video. Thank you for watching. Bye! I did not realize it was part of a series, so as I was reading, I getting closer and closer to the end, and there wasn't any real